Hello, second violins. Here is your practice video for Sanseneon. This is going to be just the first part. This piece is so long and it has so many different sections to it. I'm going to break it up into a number of videos so it's not one like crazy half-hour long video. So this first section is going to take you from the beginning up to 21. And if you note the key signature, that's one of the first things to really be concerned with. We have two flats, B flat and E flat. We're in the key of G minor, which means you have a whole lot of low fingers going on. First off, you have low 1 on the D, the A, and the E strings, so those upper 3 strings. You have low 2s on everything, B flat, F natural, C natural, G natural, so that's easy, all low 2s. And then the last thing, which is a little trickier, which hopefully you won't have to do too many of, is that you can't play any open E's. They're all E flats, which are low 4, so you're going to have to think about that as well. So low 4, not open E, and low 4 for B flat, way up on the E string as well. Alright, so then the next thing you should be looking at once you start at the beginning here is that there's a whole lot of eighth notes with a whole lot of slashes through them. Remember that the slash means you're going to double the note. You're going to turn these into 16ths instead of eighths. And we'll get to that in a minute, but for right now, let's just play these as regular eighth notes at a slow tempo, just figuring out what these notes are. You do have to worry about a couple accidentals. You have some F sharps. And then towards the end, there's an E natural regular one right before measure 20 to lead you up into that last scale. So here we go. Here's the beginning. Just single eighth notes, separate bows, listening for your flats and all your naturals. Here we go. Nice and slow. 1 and 2 and. Alright, so it's really not that hard. It's very repetitive. But the cool thing is once you start going faster and you do your doubles, it sounds very cool. It just gives you this really neat kind of racing effect. Okay, there was something in there I was going to mention. Oh yeah, your low 1s. If your 1 is creeping up on you, you should be able to hear it because it's not going to have that dark minor sound anymore. So be careful, especially when you're doing this part, that you're stretching enough your G, but that's still in tune, but you're really pulling back for that low 1 right by the nut. If you start hearing this, totally wrong. Make sure that 1 is pulled way back. Hear that minor second. Alright, so let's start speeding it up a little bit. We're going to still keep it at singles. We're not going to do doubles yet. But let's go a little quicker. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. About that speed. Alright, here we go. Still singles. Still about your flats. 1 and 2 and ready and. So if that was still a little rocky, go back and practice it slower. Of course, you're going to have to work through this a couple times until you can get your fingers to move that quick. Ollie's saying it's going to be okay. Can you see him over there? There he is. He's sitting on his window bench. Hi, Ollie. He's sleepy. All right, so move that back now that I've messed it up. All right, so now let's try it with the double. So if you've gotten up to that point and you're comfortable with that speed of eighth notes, single eighth notes, and then you're ready to start this next part, which is the doubles. So back to the top, we're just going to play 2 of every note, but we're going to keep it right in the middle. Use just a little bit of bow. The faster you go, the easier your work should be. So keep it light. It's going to sound a little like this. Okay, so just nice and even, nice and steady, and let's take it at that tempo. So 1 E and a 2 E and a doubles, ready, and. Okay, so once that gets easy, then you can take it up to the next step, the final step, and going even faster at close to tempo, concert tempo. So again, backtrack if you need to. Go back to single notes, see if your fingers got tangled up. There's all that repetition, you know, at like measure 5, at 9 and 10 and all of that. If you're getting lost in any of that, just like put some finger numbers or how many times, or circle like groups of 4, so you know how many times in a row you play each part. That's the only thing that might trip you up a little bit in this section. All right, so here we go. This is close to concert tempo. Just to give you an idea, it's going to go about that speed. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. All right, here we go. Here's the final step. 1, 2, 3, and. So again, you want that scrubby sound right in the middle. I'm putting a good bit of bow pressure in. I'm definitely pressing with my index finger on my bow, because our tempo marking also tells us the style. Allegro con fuoco. Fuoco is with fire. So we want a really fiery sound, lots of energy right in the middle of the bow. If those doubles are totally messing you up, don't worry about it. Play singles. Play just the single eighth notes, and do that in class as long as you need to as well. But try to work up to those doubles, because that's way more fun. All right, so our next part is going to start out with measure 21 and get into the slurred section next, and just keep working.